So guys, I wanted to come on today and talk to you about why do people live in vans? What are the reasons? Like, everybody has a choice and everybody has their own reasoning, their own logic about why they do it. And then there are some practical reasons as well. So I just wanted to touch on 5 of those reasons that people live in their van. And I have watched a lot of these type of videos, and I've also in some groups on Facebook, and people, they always kind of mention at some point why they are living in their van. Now, there are a lot of people that didn't particularly choose to, but they're doing the best with what they have. So we're going to go over those 5 different reasons. So guys, I had to move because there was a group of motorcycles that pulled up right where I was. So I had to move because they were the motorcycles were loud and they were out there talking. So let's get to the meat and potatoes, okay? So one of the reasons that people live in their van is for freedom and flexibility. So they want the freedom to do what they want, when they want, go when they want, come when they want, and they don't have to necessarily be tied down to a job or a house or anything like that. So that's part of that reason. They want to be able to, change locations. They want to, like me, I live in Georgia for a month. I can go and live in Virginia for a month. I can go where my children are and live there. I can go in Maryland and live there for a month because I have that freedom and that flexibility to do that. Number 2, they want to lower their cost of living. So as you know, and I know, rent is high as giraffe booty. Okay? Let's be real. It is ridiculous. If I wanted to get a 1-bedroom apartment, I would have to pay at minimum $1,200 a month. At minimum. And so I don't have, if I paid that, I would be in the hole starting out the gate. I would be in the hole starting out the gate because finding a job that pays you enough to do that is, it's very hard to do. And I've worked my entire life, and I thought at this point in life that I would get to just coast. I could just get a pretty easy job and I could just coast. And that is not the case anymore. And then you have to wait on, things like your retirement fund for those people that have that, or your Social Security. And so that depends on how much you made during your lifetime. And so, there's a lot of factors that go into your cost of living. So if you want to be free and lower your cost of living, you choose to live in a van because you only have the expense of maybe your car insurance, gas money, and maintenance. And if you have a good vehicle, then your maintenance won't be all the time. It won't be something that's all the time. But your gas and your insurance will be a monthly bill. And you may not necessarily have a cable bill. I mean, you may have Hulu or Netflix or something like that you have to pay. But, in relation to if you were in a sticks and bricks and you had to pay cable and internet, those bills run, I don't even know now. I think they're about $75 at least a month. But if you just get the Hulu app, it's $15 a month? And so there's a big difference in that cost right there. So That reason number two for lowering your cost of living is very valid for a lot of people because food is expensive. Remember back in the day when you could go to the grocery store and get your basic needs, right? Your bread, your milk, your eggs. You might be able to get some sugar, a box of cereal for the kids, and you would pay like $20. Now, it's probably more like 45 to do that. Granted, I mean, we're in a different time, and the cost of living has gone up, but pay has not gone up the same, right? So you have to shop cheap. Even in Dollar Tree, it's now $1.25 tree. And so you're sometimes getting less quality because you have to pay that $1.25. And so there's a balance there with all of that. So there's your groceries. If you're one person living by yourself, you just have to feed you. You can make it off of some oatmeal, tuna fish and crackers, things like that for the most part. And then you can splurge every now and then, and you can buy yourself a nice meal or make yourself a nice meal or salad. You can still eat healthy. I'm not saying that you have to be a penny pincher and you have to starve yourself. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you want to live below your means, to save money so that you'll have gas money to go to your next destination, then you can do that. There are some people that stay in their own town, and because they could not afford to live there in a sticks and bricks, so they stay in different parks and parking lots and things of that nature, and they can go to their local grocery store and things like that, but they choose to stay there. Some people roam, some people go different places because the cost of living, they're trying to find their sweet spot for it. You know what I mean? So you have to consider that. 3 is adventure and connection to nature. So a lot of people choose to live in their van because life has gotten on. They have worked their whole life. They have been on the grind, and they have not been able to see their own country that they live in. There are so many places in this country that are beautiful places that we don't know about. We're unaware of because we work so much. What we're fed in the media is going to different countries to see all these beautiful places and all these beautiful things. But in reality, they are right here. They are right here. You have the Grand Canyon, you have Yellowstone, you have different waterfalls and different parks and different mountains. And I mean, it's endless, endless. And so now you have taken some time for you to relax and enjoy life, go on adventures, and go out in nature, get your thoughts together, live your best life, and you can do that when you live in your van. Number 4, minimalism and simplicity. So people want to get out of the rat race, OMG, or as I say, oh my lantern. The rat race is crazy, 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 crazy. Everybody wants all the things all the time, go to all the hot spots and all the restaurants to eat here, and you got to do this and you got to do that. No, 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 no. You don't have to do that. You can lead a minimal life in your own space, which is a minimal space. You have to downsize things that you have, all your designer stuff, all your gadgets and chick-chacks and all that stuff. You have to get rid of that stuff because you have to stay in a van. You don't have that much space to be carrying all that stuff with you. And so it becomes your choice. You say, okay, like me, take me for instance. I have so many shoes. It's ridiculous. Okay, I have a shoe collection. All right, ask me, have I worn all those shoes? Nope. Haven't. I have brand new shoes. I have at least probably 10 pair of shoes that I have never worn anywhere. Now, I've tried them on and walked around the house, but I have never gone anywhere because it was a thing. I had to get this outfit. Man, I got to get some shoes to match. And now I have to get this, and now I have to get that. Purses and all that. I got purses, I got shoes, I got clothes. It's all in my storage because I needed to downsize to be in my van. I can't carry all that stuff around. And where am I going? Where am I going in these clothes and things? Yeah, they're nice, but I'm living in a van, and I don't have anywhere to go that I need to dress up. And if I do, I have a couple outfits that will do the trick because I really don't dress up that much anymore. Jewelry, I have jewelry, and all of that, and I don't even wear it. I stopped wearing that years ago before I started living in the van. But you want to have a minimal space, a minimal life, and get rid of all the junk, then that is a reason that people live in their van. 5 is remote work and mobility. So a lot of people, especially since the cough season, the cough year, have been able to work from home, work as a nomad, work mobily, and so they're still doing that. I wish I could. That's what my goal was, to be able to get a work from home job, work in my van, and 5 o'clock I'm out of there. But jobs for my age, and I'm a woman of a particular age, are few and far between. And if you find one, they're paying you $13-15 an hour. Like, what? What can you do with that? You can't do anything with that money. That is basic, like kids that go work at McDonald's money. They probably make $15 an hour. Why would I do that? I've been faithfully working since I was 13 years old. And so I just told myself, no, you are not going to do this. You are not a slave. This is not a plantation, and you're not going to work for nobody's peanuts, period. But, that reason that people work nomadically and remotely is because they have that little sense of freedom that they can park themselves somewhere and work, and then get out and go jump in the lake and have a swim or go hike or something afterwards. There are travel nurses that travel from place to place, and they live remotely. They work remotely. So people do that for that reason. So let me tell you why Mina has chosen to live in my van. Things happen. And I've always had a place since I was 18 years old. And as I got older, jobs are not as easy to come by. And so I was working a remote work from home job myself, and I lived with a family member at the time. And we had a good run. We split the rent. That person worked from home. I worked from home. And my goal was to take that year, save money, because I had already thought about van life before. I had already looked into it. And I knew that I was going to need a van. And I knew how I wanted my van to look. And so I was going to save money. And then after that year, or maybe it took to the next year, to save and get the van that I wanted, to get it built out like I wanted. And that was my goal. So we lived together. And no, this wasn't a dude. This was a family member. But we lived together and everything was cool. And then we moved into another apartment complex that was brand new. The rent was more. In fact, the rent was twice what we paid, but we were still splitting the rent. And so, and we both still worked from home. I had another contract, and I worked from home. And that person decided that they didn't really want to pay rent. And so Mina, being the person that I am, I paid their rent, their half of rent. And then I got to the point where I said, no, I'm not going to continue to do this. I have to live my life. I have lived my life for people and my children my whole life. I'm not going to continue to do this. So I said, I'm going to let it go. And then one day, the sheriff knocks on the door. Because that person had gone to court and said they took care of everything and we were good to go. And I took them at their word. And here comes the sheriff saying, you have to go. I was like, what? Man, you talk about somebody that was so disappointed and so... it wasn't that I was even angry. I was just like, what? This person would do this to me. Of all people. That I've done a lot for this person. Okay, a lot since they were born. Okay, so I got as much as I could. I had one of those wagons that because we lived on the top on a higher floor. It's best to, when you get your groceries, put them all in the wagon, bring them up in the elevator that way. So I took my wagon, loaded my wagon up with whatever I could that I knew I was going to need immediately. Matter of fact, I was still working at this point. I was getting ready to clock in work when it came. I got all my stuff, got all my equipment and everything, and luckily my daughter lived in that same building. So I went to her place and I stayed at her place for I think maybe 3 weeks. And then I had to go, then my contract ended and I had to go live with my sister. Well, I didn't have to. My sister told me I could stay. And so I went there and stayed with my sister. And that's where you guys saw me with my first video. When I was in Delaware, I was at my sister's house. So I said to myself, girl, we don't ever want to go through this again. Never in life. Never in life. So what are we going to do? I said, I'm still going to get my van. Okay, so we're going to do this for real? Yes, we're going to do this for real. So I had some money in savings and like little, just a little teeny retirement cushion. And I searched for vans, and the search was crazy because, some people are just outright lying. You don't know if it's a scam. You drive all the way to another state and you don't know what's going on. You don't know if somebody's there going to take your money because they want cash money. You don't know how the van is going to run, because some people don't even want you to test drive the money unless they see the money. Okay, so if you see the money, you snatch it from me, then I'm ass out. So I went through that and I finally found a van that was where my sons lived in another state. And I had them check it out for me. And they checked it out and they told me everything was cool. And so I got my money out of the bank. It took me a few days because, they only let you get a certain amount out at a time. And I drove on down, I rented a car and I drove on down and I looked at the van, this van, and everything was cool. And we had some issues with the back door. My son was like, well, we can fix that later. And then we checked the air, and the air wasn't exactly working. And my son was like, well, Mom, we can just put a can of Freon in there. And so I was like, okay, because at this point, I've looked at so many vans, I'm just ready to get in my van and be on my own again. Because, when you live with somebody else, you have their rules, you have things that they want to do and all that kind of stuff, and you have to adhere to it because you are not in your own space. You are in someone else's space. So I went on and got the van, and I went on and fixed the van up. And now what I say to that is nobody can tell me to get out. Nobody can tell me that I have to leave. Nobody is responsible for my van but me. I can do what I want in my van, when I want to in my van, because it's mine. It's paid for. I don't have any payments or anything like that. I paid cash for it. So now, if I want to sleep late, I can sleep late. If I want to stay up late, I can stay up late. If I want to go somewhere, I can go. I can go visit my grandchildren and whatever. So you guys, my phone stopped on me, and so I went ahead and left the park because like right after it stopped, there's a pavilion behind me where I was parked, and they started playing music. So I stopped at the grocery store to get me some coffee creamer and some watermelon. And now I am parked at a gas station down the street from where my son lives. So I just wanted to get this video finished, you guys. So all of those reasons that people live in their van are valid. Now, I would really love to hear your opinion because I know you have one, right? Right? I know you do. So give me your opinions and your reasons that you would do it if you lived in a van, if you don't already live in a van. If you live in a van, tell me why you live in a van. Because this country is, and not to be political, but this country is not taking care of us. You know what I mean? When Social Security is a little bit of money and everything is so high, you can't even find a place to live. So what do they expect us to do? So I just wanted to go over those points with you, and be sure to like the video and subscribe, and don't forget to turn your notifications on because a lot of people haven't been getting their notifications that I even upload a video. And I know it's been some days, but I haven't been feeling up to 100%. I don't never call myself SICK, but I haven't been up to 100%. And just now when I left, before I left the grocery store, my nose started bleeding. And that is a sign for me that my cold has broken, because I took Airborne and ginger tea, and that Airborne is really what does the trick for me. So it may work for you, I'm not sure, your body is different than mine, but it works for me every time. And if I had some orange juice to go along with it, it would work quicker than that. So keep me in your prayers, y'all, because it's one of those situations where I want to go somewhere. It's been so hot. It's been too hot to do videos, to do anything. So I'll put you in my prayers for sure, and all of us, because we needed to cool down. That's a simple fact. We needed to cool down because right now it's 91 degrees and it is 4:51. So it's no relief in sight. So I hope we all find somewhere to cool off at. And if you live in your van, baby, please, just go walk around the store if you don't have anywhere to go, libraries, places like that, to try and stay cool. And I'll pray for your safety. All right. I'll see you next time. Peace.